Once you attract the best talent, you form some sort of team. Is there some, activities or stuff that you can do as a leader to empower that team in order to, engage them even more and to achieve great things and great goals?
Right. So the word that was pretty popular through the 90s and 2000s as the industrial age began, information age began to try to understand what was happening, with the Steve Jobs and the Gates and the computer revolution and Toyota in Japan, and all of these industry was being revolutionized by a new leadership management model. And so academics began to start to study this and try to write books to explain this. And the term that was used probably more than any other term was the term empowerment. How does a leader empower his team? Well, in the military, the word is delegation. How do you delegate? And of course, that is a science as well as it is a skill set. It has to be done wisely. You can't just delegate and say, okay, go for it, run with it. You have to responsibly empower people. And what you do is you give them clear tasks and you help them, you train them, you encourage them, like what a coach does, right? A coach is constantly developing the players. Part of that is by discipline. Part of that is by setting high standards and high expectations. Part of that is ensuring that they're trained, and part of that is encouragement and letting them run with it. So what I did in the military as I began to apply these principles is I would gather together, again, I would recruit the very best, smartest. I was in logistics, and we were refurbishing aircraft, B-52, C-5s aircraft, etc. And so I went right down to the floor where people are actually doing the work. If you want to know what's really going on in any organization, you go down and actually talk to the people that are actually doing the work. They know what the problems are, and they probably have the best ideas of what the solutions are. And then from there, every layer of management information is being filtered, so that when it gets up to higher levels of leadership, the accuracy of that information diminishes. It becomes less and less. So the further up you are in an organization, you could be sure that you're being lied to, or you're not being told all the facts, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. So what a wise leader does is he goes down there and he mingles with the actual people and talks to the actual people and builds relationship with the actual people doing the work. And you ask them what they think, and you'll sometimes get a completely different story. So what I began to do is I began to pull together the best scheduler I can find, the best production person I can find, the best engineer, the best planner, the best material person. And I would pull these people together and I would get them to innovate. I say, okay, you guys define the problems and come up with solutions. And I'm going to use my position, my authority, my rank to help implement your ideas, which otherwise would have never have been listened to, much less implemented, right? These people had the mindset that they were powerless, that they had no voice, no say. And the reality of the matter is, in that model, that industrial age model, that's absolutely true. No one's paying them to give their opinion, right? They're being paid, do your job and shut up and don't make trouble. That was the mindset. Well, the new model is completely opposite. It's not only do I not want you to shut up and do your job, I want you to help change the world, okay? And I'm going to empower you to do that. You've got the best insights, you know the problems, you know the solutions, and I'm now going to use my authority not to lord over you, but to actually empower you, and in fact to serve you, because as you excel, as the team excels, I as a leader will benefit and the entire organization will benefit. So it's the ultimate win-win scenario, but it is a very completely different leadership mindset than what has been traditionally taught in the past.
So what about, that obviously works for, organizational perspectives and stuff like that. Let's say for small teams that are actually just, starting, where to start? Maybe you don't even know who the team leader is. How does the process look like? How do you decide? How do you engage? How do you follow, respect, especially, if your colleagues and you perceive, maybe to be better at some things, what do you need to get the ball rolling?
Well, for one thing, is take initiative. Don't wait for someone else to tell you what to do or to lead or to take initiative. If there's no one else taking initiative, then you take initiative, right? Use whatever influence you have, and step out. Use it. So in other words, as a part of a team, I would come up and see possibilities or see opportunities, and I didn't have the authority per se myself. So I would go to my boss and say, hey, this is what I see. This is what I would like to do. Would you empower me or allow me to pull together a team and to try something, to do something new, to innovate? And if it works, great. If it doesn't work, we'll learn from that, and we'll move on. So rather than waiting for your leader to come to you and tell you what to do, innovate. Look at what can be done. What are the possibilities? How can I solve my boss's problems? And then you take the initiative. You go to your boss and make recommendations, and tell you, most leaders will be thrilled with that. Some are insecure. You will deal with some insecure leaders in the course of your career, and those are tough. Just wait it through, because they'll eventually go. They come and go. But most leaders, when they have someone come to them in a team with a great idea or a good idea, and they want to try it and they want to take some initiative, most leaders will be thrilled with that. So what I did in my experience, very rarely did I have my boss come to me and say, go fix that particular problem. I looked for my boss's problems, and then I figured out how to solve them, and just went out and just did it. I didn't ask for permission. Sometimes I had to ask for an apology. As we heard it said, right? It's easier to ask for forgiveness than it is to ask for permission. So you got to walk that fine balance. Sometimes that can be a little risky. You need wisdom. But more times than not, that has much paid off for me in my experience. Taking initiative drew good results. And as a result, that paved the way for favor and for promotions down the road. I wasn't doing it for promotion. I wasn't doing it to draw attention to myself. I was just doing it because I wanted to do the very best job I can, and